Now, this guy is also a very tough decision along with Carlton Davis. This is the two top free agents, in my opinion, that the Lions have upcoming this free agency to become free agents. And this second guy is Kevin Zeitler, who we're talking about in today's video. Now, he is also extremely old, but the Lions, in my opinion, is another must bring back here. Kevin Zeitler is 6'4", 340. He is old, very old, 34 years old. Will be turning, at the recording of this video, 35 years old in about a week. I believe the day before the tampering period begins, he turns 35 years old. From Wisconsin, was drafted in the first round, 27th overall by the Bengals back in 2012. And Kevin Zeitler has been one of the best guards in the NFL when he was drafted and throughout his whole entire NFL career. The Lions really have to consider bringing back Kevin Zeitler. They really have to solidify that offensive line. The guard class this year, from what I've seen, is pretty decent. I've already done a lot of research on the draft. I've already done my research and tape on all of the defensive ends that are projected to get drafted. I've been watching the combine the whole entire weekend. Um, and I've really liked what I've seen from the offensive line. But there's only a couple really good guys at the offensive guard position. The offensive tackle class is very good. Center, not great. Guard, not great. There's a couple guys I really like at the guard position. Donovan Jackson from Ohio State. Tyler Booker from Bama. Wyatt Millum I like a lot as well from, I believe, West Virginia. So there's a lot of guys I like coming out of the guard class. But there's also a very big guard drop-off. After those three guys, not a lot of guys that I'm willing to take and be an immediate starter. So if you can't get a guy like that, bring back Zeitler. Play it safe. That way you can use that pick to draft a linebacker, draft a defensive tackle, draft a defensive end, which we need. Draft somebody like that. Kevin Zeitler, in my opinion, is a must bring back simply because we can use that draft pick somewhere else and use our first round pick on a guard next year, second round pick on a guard next year, or just have Mahogany develop to take up one of the spots next year and have Glasgow be our starter next year as well. Which I don't think Glasgow will be on the team next year. I know he's under contract for one more year, but I do think the Lions will release him because you will save cap room next year. Not this offseason, I'm talking about next year, but that's my opinion what the Lions will do. Now, Kevin Zeitler's market value is a 1 year, $9.2 million, which obviously is $9.2 million per year. That put him 20th among all guards and 231st in the NFL rank. Very reasonable. He signed a 1 year, $6 million deal with us last offseason, which was an extremely cheap deal because he was a top 5, top 10 guard in the NFL last season, and he even rose his stock this year. So I do think he'll get slightly more this year. There was some rumors going around earlier before the season ended that he was probably potentially going to retire, but his wife posted on, I believe it was Instagram, that he's going to play one more year. Running back for, I believe, year 14 is what she said. So, Kevin Zeitler, he's going to play one more season, and this is a no-brainer in my opinion. The Lions absolutely have to bring him back, especially for that type of deal. I think he'll go for more around 7 to 8 million, but I could see him going for this. But this is an absolute must bring back, in my opinion. This way can solidify the offensive line for one more year. If you do this, let's just go over our offensive line real quick. If you re-sign Kevin Zeitler, this is what your offensive line will look like, in my opinion. Taylor Decker will be a starting left tackle. Mahogany is going to overtake Graham Glasgow for the starting left guard position, as he should. Frank Ragnow will be our starting center. He's going to play one more year, we know that, at least. Kevin Zeitler will still be the starting right guard. Penisa will be the starting right tackle. Your backup tackle, left tackle, whatever, will be Dan Skipper and Giovanni Manu. Your backup guards will be Graham Glasgow and Netane Moody. I love Netane Moody, he's my guy. Your backup center will be Glasgow / Kingsley Eguakun. And then as a very reserved guard / tackle, you'll have Colby Sorzo. That is a very good, solid offensive line. You literally don't have a weakness for this upcoming position at that offensive line. Besides, I can guess you can say center because you don't know what you're going to get with Kingsley, even though he's my guy. And Glasgow's not a full-time center. So that's just what you can argue if you're going to point out and just start talking about anything that's a negative on that defensive line. You could say that. But if you bring back Zeitler, your offensive line is 100% set. You don't need to sign anybody. You don't even need to sign any UDFAs and the UDFA free agency class. That's how good our offensive line will be if you re-sign Kevin Zeitler. If you don't re-sign Kevin Zeitler, you need to get a new guard, in my opinion. I don't really want Graham Glasgow at all starting next season. unless if he's going to start at right guard, because he definitely is better at right guard than left guard. But that's just my opinion what the Lions should do. So leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Would you bring back Kevin Zeitler? I know if we bring back Carlton Davis and Kevin Zeitler, we're only going to have around maybe about $20 million to spend, $25 million to spend, somewhere around there. But that's still enough to work with. So bring in guys, not including the draft. So leave your thoughts in the comments down below. One Pride, go Lions.